What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today, BCH, USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friend. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon, by the way. We are here now at $535 with 5 hours, 21 minutes left in this day. We've got about 5 days left in the week here. Having a nice recovery off of the calamitous events from last week, man. I mean, it was absolutely insane what happened. But again, just to set the record straight, I've said this on a few videos. I'll probably keep saying this until I stop hearing it being said. But this was not an event that promoted the weakness of crypto. This did not show the underlying flaws and vulnerabilities of crypto. What it showed is that the same thing that I think anybody who gets into crypto, like the reason why we get into crypto is something that we know, is that the financial system is flawed, right? The financial system of crypto, which is the exchanges, essentially, right? They are the banks of crypto, the largest institutions that hold cryptocurrency. When they get shut down, it's really easy to move the prices around. Now, when they open back up, we see the price regulate. It's back to where it was before this stuff happens, right? Like, it's not a big deal. But when these exchanges are shut down, it's easy to move the price down because you're clearing out stop losses, right? So you hit a stop loss, that promotes a sell. You clear out a long position, you're hitting liquidation levels, that promotes selling, right? The exchanges are pushing the price down so that they can liquidate people, and then whenever the exchange opens back up, that's whenever the price moves back up, right? If the exchanges were open this whole time, we'd probably not even be at the low price that we're at right now. This drop wouldn't have happened to the extent that it did. So if anything, crypto is really, really strong. It's the flaw is these centralized points of authority. And we all know that, being in the crypto space, that centralized points of authority are something we're trying to move away from. And as of now, exchanges are a big deal. They're very helpful. You know, whenever it comes to decentralized exchanges, there's some interesting things going on. There's definitely some interesting avenues for acquiring cryptos on some of these decentralized exchanges. But you know, Lighter seems interesting, and Hyperliquid, Astra, all those things, right? But I think Lighter's probably the up and comer at the moment. But with that being said, largely it's centralized exchanges that are the points where people come into crypto because they're transferring their cash, their capital, their U.S. dollars, their hard-earned money into crypto, which is hard money to earn. Hard-earned money versus hard-to-earn money, which is crypto. Bitcoin Cash, it's not that hard to earn. All you got to do is buy and hold, and in time it will do its thing. We're looking at this here right now on Coinbase, looking at this on the, actually let's look at it on the monthly chart just to marvel at where we are. Anytime somebody asks me if Bitcoin Cash is a good purchase, or if I'm ever talking to somebody, I always just show them this chart. I'm like, what do you think? Like I'll tell you what I think, but just tell me, what do you think? What do you think about that? What do you think about the fact that we had a multi-cycle, lifelong, downward sloping trend line, resistance line? We found resistance on, dropped, found resistance on, dropped, found resistance on, dropped, dropped, and now we're doing a little dance, making a little love. We got down tonight last week, and now we're back up. We back tested. Do you guys know what this is called? This is what they call a break, hook, and go. This is what they call a bump and run. Whenever you break out of a trend line like this and you back test it for support and you find support the way that we did right now, it's immaculate support. Most of this candle is a wick. It's not even a body. It tends to promote great things. And I genuinely do expect great things to come for Bitcoin Cash. I think the same way that Zcash here, I'm not comparing Bitcoin Cash to Zcash, but I am comparing the perspective shift, let's say, right? Nobody who's in their first cycle in crypto ever heard of Zcash. All the OGs, we all know about Zcash. We're all fully aware. But everybody first heard of Zcash at the very end of September when it started to pump. They first heard of Zcash last week whenever it was pumping. You know what I mean? Like, that's when they first heard of it. Nobody heard of it down here, right? There's clearly signs here that you're having some kind of Adam and Eve double bottom or a triple bottom overall. There are clearly signs that you're about to break out. You just broke out first. Bitcoin Cash, there's clearly signs that you're about to break out, and the perspective is going to shift, right? Nobody talks about you. Everybody talks about you, and they want to buy the high. Nobody's talking about you. Everybody's going to be talking about you, and they want to buy the high. But the difference here being that Zcash is, I wouldn't say struggling, but it's not in one fell swoop moving up to its last cycle highs, moving up above them. what I'm expecting out of Bitcoin Cash is that we will no problem move up above our prior cycle highs. Look at the bottom even, right? Look at the bottom of this chart here, right? Adam and Eve, you've got a very similar setup. It's not as pretty. I feel like this one's a little bit prettier looking, but it's very similar. It's a very similar setup as far as the double bottom goes. Anyways, very bullish behavior here. Expecting big things out of Bitcoin Cash. Undeniably, I believe that we are going to see prices that are worth more than $2,000. Likely, I mean, man, it could be by the end of this month. We've seen it. We've seen how some of these sleeper cells, when they come alive, they really come out. They come out to play. Look at this. This is what I mean, right? This is why we're comparing it to Zcash to some degree, right? The price action that's happening now, it's undeniably more bullish than we've ever seen in Zcash's life. We've never seen something more robust than this in a 2-month period, ever. This month here, that was the most robust month we had. It was 150%. We're up 222%. Okay? Zcash is only more known about now. It's been developed more. It's been around for a long time and it's pumped. Bitcoin Cash, same thing. There's more fundamental values underlying. I'm not trying to compare Zcash and Bitcoin Cash. They're different projects altogether. And Bitcoin Cash is better. It's not even a competition. It's not even close. But the perspective is what I'm trying to offer. Is that oh, now it's so obvious that Zcash is going to be a contender this cycle. It's the same thing. We're going to have, it's going to be very obvious that Bitcoin Cash is going to be a contender. It's obvious to us, but it's going to be obvious to the rest of the world here pretty damn soon whenever we see prices that are well above $2,000. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Because think about it like this, right? People are piecing together right now with Zcash, and I keep going back to this. I wasn't trying to compare Bitcoin Cash to Zcash, but we keep doing it, whatever. People, what they do with Zcash right now is they're looking at the fact that it has 21 million coins in its total max supply. And they compare it to Bitcoin. They're like, wow, could this then go as high as Bitcoin? Could this see a $10,000 price, a $100,000 price? Could it happen in time? You know, if Bitcoin's worth $1 million, what will this be at some point? Imagine Bitcoin Cash, the actual hard fork of Bitcoin, which serves better as a peer-to-peer form of currency. Bitcoin itself, imagine when the narrative goes around that, oh, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin can exist. They can coexist because Bitcoin's a store of value and Bitcoin Cash is a peer-to-peer cash. So they can exist. They serve different niche aspects of the crypto culture. Imagine what happens whenever you're at new cycle highs here, right? You're at a higher high than you were at the last cycle. The perspective shift that's going to happen is that, oh, it's the same thing here, right? It's like, oh, there's 21 million of these tokens, just like Bitcoin. Does that mean that we could see a $20,000 price, a $50,000, a $100,000 price at time? Is this a time machine for Bitcoin? It absolutely is. We're going to see some fantastic growth, you guys, in a very, very short amount of time here. Looking at the daily time frame, actually, let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Let's stop buttering the bread so much and get to work here, okay? Looking at the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour RSI was in a downtrend. We've broken out of that a little bit. You look bullish here. I don't like that, we have 14 minutes left and we're wicking here. We're wicking at prior areas of support. Maybe we do come down a little bit, and that's okay. That's okay. We can come down a little bit. I doubt we go below this low. Maybe I shouldn't doubt that. You know what? Looking at it now, I wonder. Let me look at Bitcoin here on the 1 hour. I really do wonder. No, we're back testing resistance for support. That's not what's going to happen. I don't know. I think we're going to keep moving up. If I'm wrong and we do move down, we'll probably find support somewhere around $500, just below, just above, but probably just below if I had to guess, okay? And we go down and boom, then we move up, whatever. It's not a big deal. Stochastics look bullish. MACD looks bullish. The RSI looks bullish. I think we're going to continue to move up. So never mind. I was getting tied up a little bit here, but I think, yeah, if we look at the 15-minute time frame, I mean, we're just consolidating. I don't think it's a big deal. We haven't even broken out yet, and I think we will break out to the upside. Ooh, I don't know. We'll see. If I'm wrong, $500 is where we're going to go, and that's okay. So somewhere right around $500 is where we're going to go. And then buy the dip, you guys. 4 hour time frame, the stochastics, the RSI did have a downtrend, right? We had lower highs here, lower lows here, and we have broken out of that. We do have higher lows now, and I guess we still have lower highs to be completely fair. Maybe higher highs depending on how you want to look at it. but we're finding support in key areas, showing our strength here in the structure, turning things around from a bearish perspective to a more neutral perspective, and then comes the bullish perspective I would expect. The stochastics do look bullish here as well, and the MACD is also shaping up, so that's good to see. 1 hour and 12 minutes left. I'm just hoping that in the next hour and 12 minutes, by the time most of you watch this, I'm hoping that this candle closes green and that we are not finding resistance here at prior support to prior resistance or prior support back here. I'm hoping that instead we're breaking above it. We're seeing prices go above it, because if we do, we likely continue to about $570, $580, and that'd be my expectation. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the next stop was 570, 580. It is Tuesday the 14th. We could be there as early as Wednesday the 15th or Thursday, early Thursday the 16th. I would expect that we're up there. We probably see some turbulence, consolidate back down, but then continue to rally. Maybe over the weekend we come back down. I don't know, but I do think that we'll continue to rally higher. Really, we're on the precipice of greatness more so than we are on the precipice of a downfall. Looking at the daily time from here, bouncing right off the oversold zone on the stochastics and the RSI. The MACD's ugly, but whatever, who cares? We do have bullish divergence. We do. Histogram here, higher low there in the histogram. Low here, lower low, so that's good to see. We haven't seen that divergence come to fruition yet, but I would expect that we get a nice pop out of that. Daily MACD divergence is a big deal, actually. I guess we have some divergence on the stochastics as well. Not on the RSI, but that's okay. Two major indicators diverging here. Love to see it, suggesting that we are going to turn around. Anybody and everybody expecting that we're going to go lower, because again, they think that this was some kind of exposure to an underlying issue in the crypto space. I would say this is more just an exposure to how much control the exchanges have. That's it, right? And in a call to action for everybody to, if you have coins you're trading, okay, you need them on an exchange. You're trading. You need them on an exchange. I get it. But if you have coins that you're holding for the long term, they shouldn't be on an exchange. Get them off. Get them off the exchange. Don't give them the kind of power that they have, right? Bitcoin Cash, compared to most coins, if we look at this here, let's just see. On a low point, where are we at? 474. What about on Binance? Because Binance had a lot bigger swings. Let's see, 474. Yeah, it was a little bit more. Oh, actually, it was a little bit less. Wow. 477. Bitcoin Cash, you guys, compared to the average altcoin, like compared to XRP, compared to the average altcoin, it saw like 20%, right? We look at the others chart. The average altcoin on that same day from a high to a low dropped 50%. Okay, dropped 50%. Zcash itself on that day from a high to a low dropped 44%. Okay, the golden child Zcash dropped 44% in that same day. The average altcoin dropped 50%. Bitcoin Cash dropped 20%. Do we know why? Even on Binance, and Binance compared to Coinbase, Binance had a lot larger drops. Do we know why Bitcoin Cash dropped 20% and not 50% like the rest of the market? It didn't even drop half as much as the rest of the market. Do we know why? I'll tell you why. If you don't know why, I'm sure a lot of you Dragon Riders out there, I'm sure a lot of you Bitcoin Cash OGs, you already know why. So this is an easy answer for you. But for those of you who are newer, let me tell you, it's because Bitcoin Cash is largely held off exchanges. Most people, when they buy Bitcoin Cash, they take it off the exchange and they put it in cold storage. There's this thing in the Bitcoin Cash community where we continue to try to do bank runs, right? And if you follow anybody who's an adamant believer in Bitcoin Cash, or a significant part of the Bitcoin Cash community, you'll see that they're very encouraging of exchange runs all the time, and they're all about taking it off, because whenever Bitcoin Cash moves up, they don't even have enough Bitcoin Cash in their reserves to cover if people want to pull them off the exchanges, or if people are going long and making profits. They don't have enough Bitcoin Cash on hand to actually keep up with the demand of some of their clients. Some of these larger exchanges do, even Binance. I think there's been multiple times, the Bitcoin Cash podcast, shout out to them, they've pointed out some times where the exchanges did not have Bitcoin Cash on hand, where they could withdraw other currencies but not Bitcoin Cash. And again, the reason being here why we did not drop as much is because the exchanges don't have a lot of Bitcoin Cash on hand, right? And that's why that promotes resilience, that promotes strength. But even still, the exchanges clearly do have some reserves. They have some capacity to control the price, right? And that's absolutely what happened. $535 now. We're going to move up higher. We're going to see new all-time highs. It's going to be spectacular, my friends. This pump, this next rally, just like Zcash, how this is the strongest move that we've ever seen in Zcash's life. No wonder it is. We're in the institutional cycle. We're in the cycle where boys become men, the girls become ladies, right? The real crypto projects are found out and the false ones are given up on, okay? This thing's been accumulating for multiple cycles. It's been a multi-cycle consolidation phase, so it saw the biggest breakout move, the biggest move period of its life. Does that sound familiar? It should. It really should. Because we're seeing the same thing with Bitcoin Cash here. Multi-cycle consolidation phase, right? We're breaking out of it now. Institutions are looking for smart players, not just institutions, but just like, what's the word, venture capitalists, people who are looking for plays against Bitcoin. They're looking for the next big thing that's going to turn up against Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin Cash. Undoubtedly it is. I've got nothing else to say, guys. Here we are at $535. We'll see you at prices above $2,000 probably sometime in November. It could happen earlier. You never know. I mean, next week we could be living in a whole different reality where Bitcoin Cash is above $1,000 already. I mean, it's going to happen like that, man. It's going to be the fastest, biggest move that we've ever seen in our lives for Bitcoin Cash. It might be the biggest move that we ever see ever from here on out through the rest of history for BCH. Like this is big stuff that's happening, you guys. I don't have anything else that I want to say. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I do actually want to compare. I want to see here and just compare notes with the ribbon. It's not even crossed up yet. The ribbon on Bitcoin Cash has crossed up on the monthly time frame. We have crossed up. We're just waiting for that, the bullish repercussions from this. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. One last shout out to the Dragon Riders. Bye-bye.